Howdy how. Hope you guys can hear me. Howdy how. Welcome back. We have another episode of How to Get Strong with a Class. So this is just a sneak peek of a set that you're not actually going to get. But it's such a cool set that I couldn't help showing it off. This is the Monomi set. Hold up. Hopefully my stuff is coming online. I want to do a sound check real quick and then we'll keep going if it's good to go. Alright, here we go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Yep, it's good. Alright, so now we know the sound's good to go. So let's go over this set real quick. This is an extraordinarily expensive set. I think it's probably like 450k maybe top. That type of money. And yeah, it just looks really good. You see this ice coming off of me, this like frost breath coming off of me. That's a special effect if you're wearing all the pieces of the set. It'll give you that effect. So just to go over it, this is a very, very weak set though. Even if you upgrade it, it'd be very, very weak. Um, yeah. So that's why I just wanted to show it off a little bit, but not really get too deep into it. Um, it also looks amazing. Like, look at it. It's all shiny and geometric and stuff. But what you're actually going to be starting out the game with is something more like this. This is called the Novice set. It's actually a specific but very hard to come across Magick Archer set that will be available to you in Phase 1. Alright, and this is what you look like in the inventory. Under some light. Not a lot of light, but a little bit. Alright, so during Phase 1 of the game, that's basically when you're starting out, right? There's 3 people you can buy these pieces from. Alright, so you go and you can get the cheapest piece. The cheapest pieces are the bracers. You can go and get those from Estellas and Castradus. You can also upgrade them for very cheap with either some hemp or some wool cloth, one of the two. You can get the breeches. You can only get the breeches from Reynard. And you also upgrade those with either wool, cloth, or hemp. Alright, make sure you just go ahead and 3-star those because they're very cheap. They're like 500 a piece to 3-star. And they're also very cheap to buy. I think they're like less than a thousand each. Yeah. So go ahead and grab both of those immediately. Or actually, no, not 3-star, 2-star. Grab them and 2-star them as soon as you get started with the game. And then the third thing is the coat. Now the coat is much more expensive. It's also much more expensive to upgrade. It's like 18 grand to upgrade to 2-star. But you can buy the coat from Malin, and once you grab it, you'll have to get 2 Harpy Retrixes, which are very rare drops from Harpies. So if you're very lucky, you'll get 2 of those to drop during the escort of the Ox to Gran Soren. Yep, go ahead and use those to upgrade to 2-star. Until then, you can just upgrade to 1-star just to give you a little bit more defense. So normally I start out all these videos by saying, hey, you're going to start with the set of Oldoan armor. That is still an option you can take. It still gives you great defenses, especially compared to this stuff. But if you want to play a little bit more riskier, but a little bit more true that Magick Archer, you can use this in instead. Alright? I don't want to move on to stage 2 yet because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in stage 1 with Magick Archer. So the first thing you want to go and do is try to find yourself a bow. And I'm going to link to a video by Whisper123 about... No, actually, no, I'm not going to link to that one because that's more about how to get the Void Key. Instead of worrying about the Void Key, because the Void Key is how you get to... I forgot what you have to go down there and get. Oh, the, what you call it? You go get the Void Key so you can get the Moonbeam Gem. You get the Moonbeam Gem so that you can come back and get the ring of what's it called? The ring that doubles your discipline gain, which you should honestly. I am going to link that video. I am still going to link that video in the description. It's not by me. It's by Whisper123. It's a great how-to, and I highly recommend you do it because you're going to want to go to Bitter Black Island anyway. If you're a Magick Archer or a ranger, I'm going to highly recommend you go to Bitter Black Island to start the game out with, because if you don't, then your weapon is going to be expensive to get, and you're not going to have enough money to upgrade all your other stuff to start the game, because you're not going to be able to find it just lying around. Alright, so the Magian Crutch would be your first weapon. Alright, very weak weapon, not worth paying for. Go get it for free. Alright. I'm going to link a video of mine as well, which will show you how to find the boxes that have both the Magian Crutch. So the box that has a Magian Crutch is the same box that has the bespoke longbow, I think it was, or whatever the very first longbow you can get is. Basically, the starter longbow and the starter spellbow are both in the same box on Bitter Black Island, and the area that you get them is completely safe. You just have to run through one dangerous area at top speed, and then you'll be able to get to these weapons. And you'll be able to get to some other really good stuff as well, some curatives, some money. So you really do want to make that trip. If you don't want to make that trip, then you're going to have to buy it, or you're pretty much going to have to buy it, because trying to get the Witchwood that early and get to that box in Witchwood, you're not going to make it. It's going to be more frustrating than going to Bitter Black Island. Like, Bitter Black Island is more dangerous, but at the same time, it's less dangerous because it's in a safe area. You try to get this in the Witchwood, it's going to be pure luck, and then I don't even know if you can get out alive, because you won't have the everlasting fairy stone by that point. So yeah, you'll be incredibly underleveled. So if you want this for free early game, and I highly recommend getting it for free, go to Bitter Black Island, look for that link in my description for the videos. One by Whisper 123 that shows you how to get the Void Key and get the Discipline Ring, and also another one where I'm personally going and farming in Bitter Black Island for these items. I don't think I farmed the Magian Crutch. I think I farmed the Longbow instead, because I needed it for my min-max build. But it's the exact same box that I get the Longbow from. So just be aware of that. Alright, so now that we've gone over getting the weakest spellbow besides the rest of the spellbow in detail, let's go over one more weapon that you're going to need in stage 1, okay? So, throat cutters. I don't even know if I have them yet. I probably didn't get them yet. Yeah. So, you're going to buy them from Reynard. I think you'll do like part 1 of his quest, and then that'll put him on the map for you. But basically, they're the weakest, the second weakest, or no, there might be the third weakest, because I think it's either criteria. I think it goes rusted daggers, criteria, then throat cutters. In any case, you're going to get those. They're not good daggers. They're just going to get you by. Yeah, while you're waiting to level up and get some better stuff as you explore, and they're going to be free. Oh, no, excuse me, they're not going to be free, but they're going to be there. If you start the game as a Strider, which I kind of actually recommend, I definitely recommend starting the game as a Strider if you're going to go Magick Archer. Then, yeah, you'll be able to get a pair of... is it criteria or throat cutters for Strider? It's one of the two. Either way, it doesn't matter which one you get. Just upgrade it to 2-star, 1-star, whatever you can afford. And then eventually you'll replace them later. So, speaking of upgrading, this Magian Crutch can be upgraded as soon as you get to... Matter of fact, you can literally upgrade the Magian Crutch at the encampment, because Reynard allows you to upgrade. So while you're at Reynard, go ahead and enhance your Magian Crutch with a Misshapen Eye. The Misshapen Eye drops from a Cyclops. Hopefully you get a good lucky drop, and that'll give you, and you just need 8,000 gold from there. You may or may not have that much gold at that point in time, so you may not be able to do it immediately. But if you can go scrounge the gold up, then you can go back to Reynard, and he'll allow you to upgrade your Magian Crutch immediately to a 3-star weapon. Alright, so that's enough about Magian Crutch, and that's enough about the weakest items that you're going to get, which are the stage 1 items. Let's move on to stage 2. So, immediately upon, by the way, let me describe the stages. So, the stages are like major chapters in the game. Okay, so stage 1 is you starting the game. Stage 2 is you arriving in Gran Soren. So once you arrive in Gran Soren, you're going to do some quests. You're going to go down to the Everfall. You're going to meet this guy. This guy is going to give you a couple. He's going to have a couple items. He's not going to tell you that he has them, but he has them in your inventory. Okay. One of them is the set I was talking about earlier, the set of Vodoan armor. You need 2 daggers in order to upgrade that to 2-star. The way you get those daggers is you talk to this young lady over here. Hopefully you've escorted her earlier from Cockatrice to the encampment, and then she'll appear here. You can buy 3 daggers off of her actually. So these daggers are called 4 knives. You go into her peddling shop and you'll see them under tools. You can just go ahead. I'm sorry guys if you've heard this a million times, but it's literally the same. This item's good for every single vocation, so you're just going to see it in every single video. So yeah, it only takes 2 to upgrade the set of Vodoan armor. If you want to use it instead of the novice's armor, which I wouldn't blame you because it's much better than the novice's armor set. The other thing you're going to want to withdraw when you get here, I think it's under special, is going to be your, it's under tools, right? Yes, under tools. Your Eternal Fairy Stone is going to be your main item from getting back and forth. Even if you don't put down any Fairy Stones, it'll let you get immediately back to Cockatrice so you can do some other quests, like Deeper Trouble, etc., etc., which is going to be handy later. And then it'll let you escape some situations, like if you're under attack, you can just warp to a safe city. If you want to. Sometimes it won't make sense to do that because cities are so far away from the areas that you explore that you'd have to run all the way back. Nighttime comes. It gets worse, right? Alright, so next up, during Witch Hunt, alright, you're going to pick up a weapon. This is going to be the only time you pick up a staff unless you start as a mage. It's called Thunderclap. Alright, we don't actually care about the magic enchantment. What we care about is the magic damage, but more specifically, the stagger power and knockdown power. You're going to hopefully get 2 silver ore when you're down in the catacombs. If you're following my guide, then the catacombs is the first Wyrm Hunt quest you do. And you want to get 2 silver ore by using a pickaxe there. So make sure you pick up the pickaxe while you're also doing Witch Hunt. There should be a pickaxe available for you in the Witch's Hut. You can save scum this Thunderclap from a chest underneath the Witch's Hut. And then, yeah, it doesn't matter if you want to use your dagger spells. Like, make sure you pick this up. Why this is important is because during the beginning of stage 3, which is when you finish your first Wyrm Hunt quest, which in your case, if you follow my quest line guide, would be the catacombs. There's a griffin that attacks a what is this thing called? It attacks a card outside of Gran Soren's main gate. Okay, the one that you followed Ox to. If you have a 2-star Thunderclap, and let me read it off verbatim because I have good notes on it. Yeah. If you have 4 Demons Periaps and you hit it with an emphasis back combustion, alright, you will instantly basically knock it out of the sky. Alright, so you'll knock that griffin out of the sky, and then you can just follow up with another with combustion, and you can just follow up with a follow-up angle or another combustion. So it's basically to ensure that you're able to kill the griffin. If you don't have this, then whether or not you're able to kill the griffin is going to be very iffy, because the griffin basically lands, does a little bit of like posturing, and then flies away. But if you're able to knock it out of the sky and then not put it into knockdown mode, then you can kill it before it tries to get away. So that's a free Griffin kill for you. It'll help you accomplish some notice boards, help you get some rare items, and then it'll also give you a ton of experience. So that's why you want to get this particular wand. This is the only one you're going to go out of your way to get. Alright, next item. Scalding Razors. So your first set of magic daggers. If I can find the things. Oh, I Dragon Forged them. I don't remember when. Probably when I was fighting the worm. So, Scalding Razors are going to be your bread and butter for a little while. Not for super long, but for a little while. They have magic damage on them, which makes them much better for your dagger spells. So, your dagger spells are skills that are on your daggers that do magical damage. So that would be Sunflare, Ascension, Grand Ascension, Immolation, right? Those are your dagger spells. You also have other stuff that are dagger spells, but they don't actually do damage. So the more magic that your daggers have innately, like this one has 364 magic, the more damage those spells do, and it's like way more than if you were using the throat cutters or the criteria, or even something like the divine razors or what have you. Just you want to be using, if you're a Magick Archer, you want to be using magic daggers as often as possible, unless you're facing a specific situation where you need to be doing neutral physical damage, in which case there's situations for that, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. For the most part, you want to be using Scalding Razors or Galvanic Razors through your playthrough. Alright, next weapon. Oh, I didn't even talk about how do you upgrade these. I don't think I brought it up at all, though. Give me a second if I can bring up the... There we go. Bring up the tab for Scalding Razors. So Dragon Spit, I think you could just straight up buy that, right? And then Necrophagous Loin is dropped by Stout Undead. You might have the 5 Necrophagous Loin, you might not, because you need 5 of them and 15,000 gold. If you do, that's awesome, because you can go straight to 3 stars, which would give you a massive power boost. If you don't, then you only get to go to 2 stars, and you'll get the... It only takes you 2 Dragon Spit, which is sold by Estella or by Malin as well. So you don't even have to go all the way back to Cockatrice or warp there. But it's way better to have the Necrophagous Loin. Those are dropped by the big fat Stout Undead, the ones that blow up in flames if you hit them with fire. All right. So our next item to speak on are the Saurian Bane, another set of daggers here. Let's go outside where the light's better. Maybe not. Maybe on top of this. Alright, so Saurian Bane, they actually look pretty nifty. I like how you look. They do either double damage or triple damage, I don't remember off the top of my head, to lizardmen. That's their goal. They do more damage. Now, most of the time against the green lizardmen, the regular Saurians, you're going to basically be using your 6-fold bolt, if not your 9-fold. Most of the time against Saurian sages, which are the holy ones, you're going to be using your kunai. But these have a special place in early Grancis because of the Water God's Altar. So right before you start Water God's Altar, you'll know because you'll be you'll have to just beat that griffin outside. Right before you start that, go ahead and cop a pair of these if you can. Cop a pair. And go ahead and grab a pair of these from the black cat. The black cat is the scrivener down here. He sells stuff as well. And you can upgrade them with fisheye stones. Hopefully you got really lucky during the first two quests in the well over in Cockatrice, Deep Trouble and Deeper Trouble. Hopefully you didn't miss those quests. And you have 3 fisheye stone to upgrade these to +2. And once they're to +2, you'll be able to do great damage to all types of Saurians with these, whether they're Sulfur Saurians or well, maybe not Geosaurians because they have really high defense. But eventually, once you Dragon Force them, they'll get there. But Sulfur Saurians, Saurian Sages, and regular Saurians will all take great damage from this. Now, the main thing about Magick Archer is that your ice attack is really, really good. So normally, you just use that against the enemies who are weak to ice, which are the regular Saurians and the Geosaurians. But, however, these daggers give you the best option against Sulfur Saurians because your explosive attack isn't that good, honestly. Because, I mean, it does damage even when it hits without you blowing it up, but it still requires you to get up close and personal. So at that point, you might as well be jumping in with this. And on top of that, it increases all damage, not just physical damage. So if you're using a dagger spell like Cinchen, it's going to double that Cinchen damage. Not Cinchen. It would double Cinchen damage, but you wouldn't use that against Sulfur Saurians. Sunflare, that's what I mean. Sunflare does fire damage, which Sulfur Saurians are weak to. So that's what you want to use. Alright. Next up. Okay, our first time we're going to upgrade our bow. So we're still in stage 2, right? No, we're in stage 3 now. Yeah, that's right. So we already fought the griffin. We're in stage 3. Meteor Catharsis. Probably the best named bow in the game. It just, gosh, this is such a great name for a bow. And it probably has the best, not the best hate effect, but one of the best hate effects of any hate weapon. So this is a hate weapon. A hate weapon is a weapon that specifically hates on a specific enemy type. So just like I was talking about Saurian Bane specifically hates on lizard people, the Saurians. Meteor Catharsis specifically hates people. It hates humans. So it does double or triple damage against humans. On top of that, I want to demonstrate something. So, up until now, we haven't been able to. We've been able to upgrade our Magian Crutch to 3-star, right? We did that either at the encampment with Reynard, or as soon as we got here, if we didn't have the money at the encampment with Caxton, we upgraded this thing to 3-star with a misshapen eye. All right, but if you do that, your magic is 137. Okay. With the stagger power 188. Now look at this. Meteor Catharsis. 170 to 19. Alright, so hate weapons are usually very, very weak, just like Saurian Bane is pretty weak. This is very weak as well. However, it still measures above the Magian Crutch once you 3-star it. So, you're going to ask a question, how do I get all these tufts of hair? I'm going to answer that for you. So, all these tufts of hair are available basically in ogre nests. So you're going to have one ogre nest that's in the Everfall. During stage 2, you're going to go down to the Pond Guild and then into the Everfall. You're going to fight an ogre. If you're able to beat him or trick him into falling off of the cliff, you can then raid his nest for some hair. And then you're also going to get 3 more nests when you first visit the Ancient Quarry. Go ahead and kill all 3 of those ogres. 2 of them are completely optional. I suggest you get all 3. No, they're not optional. I lied. You have to clear them out. Now, this is an optional quest, but in order to complete the quest, you have to kill the ogres. So go ahead and kill all 3 of these ogres. Raid their nests for as much hair as you can. It's going to be a gather spot. You just keep digging, and you're going to get tough of hair, tough of hair, tough of hair. You should get more than 12, alright? Once you have more than 12, you go ahead and buy Metered Catharsis from the Black Cat again, just like you got the Saurian Bane. You can also get Metered Catharsis from him. It's going to cost you like 200,000 gold, just be aware of that, so it's not a cheap weapon to buy. And it's not a cheap weapon to upgrade either. Let me see how much it costs again. Hold up. Now, Saurian Bane costs 200,000 gold, whereas Meteor Catharsis, I think it's about the same price. Sorry, I'm trying to find this on wiki real fast. I think I might have closed the window. Here. Price is 195. Okay, so it's a hair cheaper than Saurian Bane, but it's still 195,000 gold. So it's a lot of money, a lot of money. And once you grab it, you'll want to upgrade it to 3-star, and that's going to cost you another 140,000 gold. Alright, so with that in mind, you may or may not actually want to grab Saurian Bane just because of how expensive that particular item is. And it's going to be your only spellbow upgrade for a while. Yeah, you can buy a spellbow from Caxton, but you'd rather honestly get the hate weapon upgraded than to grab Metered Merrill or something like that, or Master's Merle or something like that. Like, you don't want that for yourself, trust me. You don't. So you're going to rock out with your Magian Crutch until you can afford this, and once you can afford this, you just go ahead and grab it. Saurian Bane is more of an optional weapon. You don't necessarily have to grab it because you do have other options. You have fire spells, you have a fire... You don't have it yet, but you will have a fire... Actually, by the time you get this, you should have a fire... You should have Scalding Razors by the time you get Saurian Bane, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So even then, like, ice bow, fire, daggers, you don't really need Saurian Bane, honestly. So save the money on Saurian Bane, just buy Meteor Catharsis instead. It'll get you further, because it's actually a spellbow, and spellbows are what you play Magick Archer for in the first place. The main thing people complain about with Magick Archer, especially when they're starting out very young, very low level, is the lack of damage that Magick Archers do, and it's because your spellbows aren't that plentiful. If you look on the wiki, you have like half the number of spellbows that you have of like most other types of weapons. Not half, but maybe like 3/4. It's like less than normal, way less than normal. And because of that, you're not constantly getting replenished, and spellbow drops are very, very rare. Like, the first actual drop you're going to get in Grancis itself, besides the Witchwood drop, is going to be in stage 4. So you would have gone through 3 stages without Meteor Catharsis, or without buying a Master's Merle from Caxton. You would have gone like 3 stages without an upgrade to your 3-star first weapon here. Alright? So just be aware of that. Grab Meteor Catharsis. It's going to do double or triple damage against humans. Bandits are super plentiful, so it's going to be great for you. Sometimes you're going to fight humans who aren't particularly bandits, but it's still going to do double damage to them. And it's just going to be a good weapon in general. It's going to be a decent upgrade over that. You're talking about 138 magic versus 177 at this point, so super simple. Alright, next item. All right, your next item is going to be one we've talked about before on the assassin stream, so I'm not going to go too deep into detail on it. It's going to be Signs of Valor. You get this one at the tip of the spear on Hill Freaking Knoll. There's a gather spot. You gather there, and you'll get one. I forgot how to upgrade it. Yeah, slate cover. So that's a drop from a. You can get the 2-star pretty quickly because that's a drop from a hobgoblin. And then even the age insignia is like pretty common, and you only need 5 of them. You can get that the 3-star pretty quickly. That said, you're almost not going to use physical daggers that often in this game. So 3-starring it and paying the 22,000 gold may or may not be worth it for you. Just make a gut decision there. You can if you want to. It's just a question. Do you really want to? I'd probably save the money, and I'd probably save the money at this point. Yeah, don't worry about it at this point. But you can still use them. They're going to be really strong daggers for a. They're going to be really strong daggers at this point. When you just grab them even at 0 stars or 1 star, which only costs you 2,000 gold to do. All right. Next up, you're going to have galvanic razors. Alright, so these are your actual best daggers at this point in time in the game. So, again, why would you really upgrade Signs of Valor if galvanic razors are coming right next, right? And right now we're in, are we in stage 4, I think? No, we're still in stage 3, right? Yeah, we're still in stage 3. So, to actually get your strongest spell daggers at this point is really, really good. Now, for every other class, these are useless because they can't cut phantasms, and that makes them, well, you normally use enchanted weapons to hit ghosts with your melee classes. But for this class, because you have access to this spell called because you have access to Grand Ascension, you can still use these, and you can use them to be optimal to kill ghosts, no matter what type of ghost it is, because your spells don't care what element your dagger is. They only care about how much magic it has. So because these daggers have the highest amount of magic, they're going to do the most damage with the Grand Ascension, even though they're the wrong element to be fighting phantasms with. So if you try to swing at a phantasm with these, it's still going to be immune to it, just like with any other vocation. But if you use Grand Ascension, it'll just straight up kill them. So just be cognizant of that. That's why you probably want to be running Grand Ascension. Same thing with Kunai. Kunai have a decent bit of magic on them. Not a great bit, but a decent bit. So when you use Grand Ascension, it's still going to be better than trying to use like Divine Razors or Signs of Valor or something like that. Because that magic is going to power up Grand Ascension. Wait, hold up. Grand Ascension might be one of those weird spells that doesn't work that way. But I think it is. I'm pretty sure it works that way. I'm like 90% sure it works that way. So last time I said I was 9% sure, I was wrong, by the way. So I was wrong about Saiyism not having any physical power, but I'm like 90% sure it works like normally. You get magic damage from your spell. Hold on. Now I actually want to do the research. Give me 1 second here. Now that I've said it twice, I really do want to do the research. It was taking me 2 seconds to do the research because I wrote it down before. I've forgotten so much about this game. I remember it, then I forget again, then I remember it again. Okay, yeah. Gran Soren gets damage from weapon magic. Good. It's just that the holy opponent gets 0 damage from your skill damage, but that doesn't mean anything to you guys. Yeah. So using kunai with Gran Soren still does more damage than using uh like a Signs of Valor or a Divine Razors with Gran Soren. So whenever you're using dagger spells, make sure you're using a magic dagger. That's basically the takeaway for that. You get these from the ruins of Heaven's Peak Fork. They're going to be over here, and then you get them on at the chest above Ophus's head, not the one that she's standing by, but above her head. You need to jump up and grab those. Probably double jump to get to them, and then make sure you safe scum that box. So yeah, make sure you definitely get the galvanic razors. They're your best daggers for a Magick Archer. They're going to do a lot of damage for you. I didn't write down how to how to upgrade these. They're probably going to be kind of hard to upgrade actually. 1 second here. So burst rock to 2-star them. So you need to mine that from the ancient quarry or the catacombs. It take 40,000 gold and 4 burst rock. You can find those though actually. And then astral are if I'm not mistaken, they're phantasm drops. Yeah. So you'd actually have to go hunting phantasms. On top of that, about 130,000 gold to upgrade it to 3-star. But I would say it's probably worth every penny that you invest into it. Um, that said, farming Astrosite is probably going to be a pain in the butt, so you might not want to go that far. You'd get enough out of it at 2 stars. Just keeping it absolutely real with you. You'd get enough out of this weapon at 2 stars. If you're farming phantasms with a weapon that, yeah, I mean, like that doesn't make any sense. Like, don't bother. If you got to 2 stars, you're good enough. All right, next item. Mm, Harpy Cloak. It's not just going to be Harpy Cloak, it's going to be a couple things. But Harpy Cloak is going to be the first one. So, this one we're going to grab while we're over here doing these quests in this area. So, we're still in this area with Homegirl, with Ophis and them. And while we're over here, we might as well go ahead and go all the way up here and lay down a port crystal, right? So that we don't have to do it again. Make this big old trip over here. And then while we're over in the Greatwall encampment, we might as well talk to Matthias, who is over here as well. And he can sell us a couple of things that we really like. He can sell us the Harpy Cloak and the Brigandine Jerkin. And then once we get into stage 4 later on, he'll also be able to sell us the Iron Bandings. We're actually pretty close to stage 4, but we're not quite there, so he won't sell us the Iron Bandage yet. But we can at least get 2 of the clothing items that we want, which are, yeah, the Brigandine Jerkin, and that is an in-game piece of equipment, honestly. You will pretty much, if you're playing a rogue of any type, you're going to want to wear this from the moment you get it until forever. It's your in-game. It's your in-game chest clothing. And the same applies with, well, not Iron Bandings yet because you haven't got them yet, but Harpy Cloak as well. Harpy Cloak will carry you through until the end of the game, as soon as you get it. See, this one's Dragon Forge because that's how long I've worn it. Same thing with the Brigandine Jerkin, same thing with my Iron Bandings. All 3 of those items are going to be fully Dragon Forged at this point. They're not Gold Forged because I'm kind of lazy about it on this playthrough, but they are Dragon Forged. So at this point, we have Dragon Wings, guys. Woohoo! Not Dragon Wings, Harpy Wings. Yeah, looking pretty, Magick Archery, I would say. Yeah. Now, next up, we have the, we're going to start stage 4. We're going to go meet the Duke, right? And then we go right back to Matthias after meeting the Duke, and we can get the Iron Bannings from him. After that, we can actually upgrade our set. So we'll come over here, we'll talk to this dude again. Hopefully we have the fake, the false gold idol, or the gold idol forgery. The actual name is gold idol forgery. I guess I'll just go ahead and link that one in my video as well. Go ahead and get the gold idol forgery from, you got to do it in stage 2, by the way, but go ahead and get the gold idol forgery, and make sure you have it so that you can buy stuff from Caxton very, very cheap, because you're going to buy a lot of stuff from him in this particular stage, which is stage 4 after you meet the Duke. So you're seeing some options that I have from like stage 6, 7 and stuff. Don't mind those. I'm just looking for something in particular. Here we go. I think it's Iron Headgear. You're going to buy the light iron set from him. The Iron Lorica. The Iron Headpiece I just got. Was it the bracers? I think those are a little too heavy, right? It's the Manichae. Yeah. Yeah. As you're looking these things over, just make sure it says light instead of heavy. You shouldn't be grabbing anything like heavy. I probably passed them. It's probably these right here. Iron boots. Yeah, thin iron. Alright. And now we're going to finally replace our novice set that we got back in stage 1 with this set. So we're going to get the Iron Headgear, the Iron Lorica. This is stage 4, so we've got the Duke, remember that. The Manichae, and also the boots. Alright, so now what you're going to see is that this is like a half plate. So the back part of me has high mobility, so I can, move my bow arm around, but the part that's facing the enemy is heavily armored. So it's kind of like half an armor set. But it's like pretty cool, right? Because it would make sense. Why would you pay for the whole armor if you only really need half? Only half of you is facing the enemy in the first place. So that's what that looks like. Alright, so this is how you look right after meeting the Duke when you upgrade your stuff. Alright, some more upgrades that we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get the strongest spellbow that we can get. Right? The way we're going to do that is we're going to give him the real gold idol that we got by being very nice to Simone and letting her win in a race. Yeah. We give Caxton over there, this guy, we give him that. And then you wait 3 days. And then it'll open up in his shop. It'll be expensive. And its name is the Gimbal Gyre. Alright, so you'll see we're going from this, which I think it peaked out at, 170 magic, right? As soon as we put this on, we're at 206. So without even upgrading this, we're already stronger than our 3-star. Look at that hurricane pattern. We're already stronger than our 3-star meter catharsis. Now, we'll still do more damage to humans by using meter catharsis. But just be aware that this is what we're using for everything else that isn't human. Alright, so let me look up the requirements to upgrade this real fast. Gimbal Geyer. Alright, so Pigeon's Blood, that's a drop from like Skeleton Mages and Elder Sight. It's a drop from Spectres. Both those are actually kind of hard to come by. Spectres you can meet inside of the Blighted Manse over here after you've unlocked the prerequisite quest, but honestly, it's 3 Elder Sight. The Blighted Manse is something you do a late stage 5, early stage 6. That's kind of a long time to wait for a 3rd star. Not gonna lie. You can do it though. You should do it. Because that's 240 magic. Pigeon's Blood is a lot easier to come by because you're going to do stage 4. You're going to do Rise of the Fallen, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that. And you can immediately, as soon as you're done with Rise of the Fallen, upgrade to 4 star or to 2 star. Yeah, yeah. About halfway through stage 4, you do Rise of the Fallen. So upgrade this one to 2 star basically. The spell bow is going to be upgraded to 2 star, and then later on in the game, if you want to upgrade it again because you feel like your damage sucks, your damage shouldn't suck once you have this spell. By the way, your damage should be pretty dang good. But if you feel like your damage sucks, go ahead and upgrade to 3 stars by farming at the Blighted Manse after you accomplish some quests there. You enter back in through. You can't enter through the front door of the Blighted Manse after you go there the first time, so you're going to have to go in through the bottom rear entrance again, and then you'll have to go all the way through the sewers into the Blighted Manse proper, and inside the Blighted Manse proper you'll find specters again, and you'll be able to fight those specters and farm them very slowly because it's not a common drop, it's a rare drop. Proper Elder Sight are rare. I think you can't, they're the ones that you can't combine, right? Let me just double check that. I think the Elder Sight are the ones that can't be combined from like a rock, and it's no, you can combine those. Okay, maybe it's the Astrocyte that you can't combine. Yeah, if you can find some Firefly Stones, you can combine the shards with the Firefly Stones to make Elder Sight proper. So yeah, you can get those to go. Let me double check. How many of those do you need again? 3. That's not that bad, and 100k isn't that bad either. So yeah, it's doable. So immediately in stage 2, you upgrade to 2 stars, and then later on in late stage 5, very early stage 6, you can upgrade to 3 stars. Since this is going to be your main powerhouse weapon, yeah, just get used to it. This is what you're going to look like when you're using it. That's only up until you beat the dragon, by the way. After you beat the dragon, things change. I'm not this video is not about post dragon content, so I'll do videos later about post dragon content and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I don't want to spoil what the title's going to be, but I'll do some videos about that stuff later. But this is your best bow before you fight the dragon. Alright, so next up. Next item. So we've got our strongest daggers and our strongest bow. What else do we need, right? Alright, so sometimes people, for whatever reason, they'll want to give the gold idol to Homegirl instead, Madeline instead. If you do that, then Masters Merle is like your next best option. It's not a very good bow, by the way. You're comparing like a 164 to, what was it for Gilmgire? Yeah, 206. Yeah, at that point, like at 0 stars, which obviously you're going to upgrade this when you get it, but at 2 stars, at 3 stars, this is stronger. But yeah, just a huge drop off in damage. So Master's Merle, you can save scum it from the eastern, if I'm not mistaken, the eastern box inside of the proving grounds. So you'll head there and you'll just save scum that box. Yeah, far northeast of the room. All right, and then another optional bow that we're going to go over. Is it next? I think it is the next item. No, it's not the next item. It's the second and next item. So the next item is the Crimson Teeth. You're going to get those from Rise of the Fallen. We're talking about upgrading Gilmore to 2 stars because you're going to have enough pigeon blood from beating up the skeleton mages. Yeah, you're also going to get these as a drop. If you didn't upgrade your not throat cutters, if you didn't upgrade your Signs of Valor, these are going to be way stronger. So just go ahead and keep them at base because when they upgrade, they don't upgrade very well. They're actually really weak per star. So, but they actually start really strong. So just go ahead and use those whenever the situation calls for it, which isn't going to be that's not going to be very often. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. That's going to be very, very rarely that you're going to want to be using Crimson Teeth over Galvanic Razors. Galvanic Razors are going to be your bay. But you get them. So I had to mention them. And then now we're going to talk about next spell though. Terminal Gyre. Alright, Terminal Gyre is slightly better than Master's Morale. We're talking about 164 versus 189. Yeah. This one you're going to get I actually forgot where you got it. Oh, you're going to get it on Leaper's Ledge. I'm pretty sure. It's where a lot of the non-Paxton strong weapons are. Yeah, chest number 1 on Leaper's Ledge. If you don't know about Leaper's Ledge, go look it up on the wiki. It's good stuff to know. You actually want to do that bit of research. It's got a lot of late game strong items. But yeah. For the most part, anything on Leaper's Ledge is going to be beaten by anything that Caxton has that's a gold idol weapon. So, because this is a Leaper's Ledge weapon and Gimmelgeir is a gold idol weapon, Gimmelgeir just wins. So that's why you wouldn't save scum for Terminal Gyre, and you also wouldn't save scum for Master's Merle because you've already got a better weapon in Gimmelgeir. So both these weapons are skipped. So how many weapons have we skipped so far? I mean, you get these automatically, so there's no reason to skip them. But you can definitely skip Terminal Gyre, Master's Merle, and Saurian Bane so far. Alright, next item. Ooh, the assembled lion set. Okay. So if you watch the assassin video, then you've already seen this. So this is going to be a huge change. It's going to be the exact same thing, actually. Lion Lord's helmet. So it's a combination of 2 different sets. The lion set is the Lion Lord's helmet and the Rex Lion padding. It's also Ugly as Sin. And then the assembled set as well, which is the assembled sleeves and the assembled breeches. You put these 4 items together and they look really good together, right? Don't they? And you have the assembled lion set, which actually goes really well together. You're able to get these in the assembled pieces you're able to buy in stage 5. I think you buy them from Caxton, right? It's either Caxton or somebody else. Let me check. Mm, yeah, Caxton. So go ahead and grab those off of Caxton. Um, and then for the other two pieces, the Lion Lord's helm is found in Bluemoon, while the Rex Lion padding is found in a chest in Soul Flare. So go ahead and save scum those because it's going to be way cheaper than trying to buy them. That is a rare. There is a rare item. That is a rare armor set for Grancis. All right. Next up, we've also going to talk about the mage version of that set, which is the strongest mage set before the end game. Um, the Raptor set. So yeah, I forgot exactly where you get the Raptor Killers at. Hold up. I think you get those in the Blighted Mints, right? That, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I mean, you can buy them from Malin as well, but that's going to be expensive. Yeah, you get them in either the Soul Flare Clan or the Blighted Mints. Just like with the Lion set, you can buy these pieces, or you can find them in Soul Flare or in Bluemoon, for the most part. So just choose how your funds are working. If you rather buy them to save time, great. If you'd rather find them and save scum to save money, then great as well. But yeah, that's your strongest mage outfit. I just don't recommend it because if you're playing a Magick Archer and you're really leveling as a Magick Archer, your magic defense is going to be stupidly high to begin with, so you don't need more magical defense. You need more regular defense, and that's going to come to you by the assembled line set that I showed you before this one. Again, how that looks with the bow. Uh, let's talk about Conqueror's Mantle as well, because yes, what you'd be wearing. You'd be wearing the Hunter shirt, the Conqueror's Mantle, all that good stuff. Oh, speaking of the Hunter shirt and the Conqueror's Mantle, so the Conqueror's Mantle you get from the Black Cat. So down talking to that dude, the Scrivener at the Black Cat. Um, leather bandings you get from Matthias, if I'm not mistaken. I think I am not. No. Leather bandings and Hunter shirt you get from Jace. So you have to go to. I'll show you. Let me just put on the shirt first. You can't see what that stuff looks like under. So you would go to this rest camp over here. So here's South Ron Grancis. You can get to it one of two ways. You can go up that hill with the rolling boulder and then all the way around, or you can go through the ancient quarry. It'll pop you out over here, and then you can just take a left and go down here. That takes you to Jason's rest camp, and then you can buy those two items from him there once you're in stage 5. Stage 5 begins once you've decided Fornval's fate, as well as you've once you decide Fornval's fate, as well as you've defeated the Griffin, the second Griffin, the really cinematic one, um, either in Bluemoon Tower, or if you like skip some steps, you can do it up here in the cliffs south of Gran Soren. Either way, once you accomplish those two quests, Griffin Bane and Trial and Tribulations, you will start stage 5, and that'll allow him to sell you those two items, the leather bandings and the hunter shirt. Alright, so that finishes stage 5. Now we're going to talk about stage 6. So stage 6 starts when you do a special quest. When you complete a special quest over here, and it's over here actually. Yeah, over here at Windbluff Tower. There's going to be a big old fight over here. I'm not going to explain what's going on, but you'll see enough cutscenes to know that's special. All right, and then You're going to come back and they're going to tell you, hey, we need you to go to the Greatwall, right? Yeah. And I'm trying to remember exactly how that worked. Give me 1 second. I forgot exactly how stage 5 finishes again. Hold on. Pride for a fall, reward and responsibility. Honor and treachery. Okay, yeah. They're going to tell you to go to the Great Wall, but he's going to get an alarm to not send you to the Great Wall because you got to go do something different. Once you do something different, you beat a certain boss. You're going to go to the Duke's treasury, and the Duke is going to give you some stuff if you can. Oh, I didn't talk about Wyrm King's ring at all. Yeah, make sure you get the Wyrm King's ring. Do I have it in my inventory? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go back to stage 4, by the way. I know we were just about talking about how to get to stage 6, but we gotta go back to stage 4 for a couple seconds. So the Wyrm King's ring is a special item.
It is our prey. Have your pick. What will it be today?
Yeah. Here we are. Wyrm King's ring. Just possessing it allows for quicker incandescent spells. That's all it says, and it's absolutely true. Your spell speed increases by like 10 to 20% or something like that. Like I think it's like 10 to 15%. Just by having it in your inventory, you will cast spells faster. So it doesn't matter what magic vocation you are. It's less crucial for Magick Archers because Magick Archers have pretty quick spells to begin with, but it's still higher DPS. Obviously, for a sorcerer, whether or not you finish your cast at all, because your casts are so long, it's in contingent upon the time it takes. So that 10% is a massive deal. On this, it's like it's not going to usually make or break whether you get a spell off. It's just going to make your damage go up. But still, that's a big deal. Like your damage going up is a big deal. So, make sure you get the Wyrm King's ring. Make sure you don't turn into Duke. Instead, you're going to go to that Scrivener at the Black Cat, and you're going to forge it for like, I think it's 100,000 gold. You're going to put the real one back into your inventory over here at the inn, and then you're going to go ahead and give the fake one to Aldous. And then we're going to talk about reward and responsibility. He's going to try to open his treasury up. He's not going to be able to because the ring is fake, obviously. And then you're just going to go from there. He's going to tell you to go to the Greatwall, and then you're finally going to go to the Greatwall, and that starts your stage 6. Before you actually enter the Greatwall, like as soon as you leave the Duke's mansion after that, stage 6 is started. So when stage 6 starts, you got some new items that you're able to get access to. Now, you technically had access to the Divine Razors at the end of stage 5, anytime during stage 5, actually. They're the strongest physical daggers in the game before you fight the dragon. To upgrade them, you're going to need 2 priceless artifacts, which are available in the Water God's Altar. But honestly, it's just they're super lightweight, they're super good, and you know how I've been saying you don't want to use physical daggers. You don't want to use physical daggers. All right, so that's going to change here because you're about to fight the dragon. It's actually in your interest to have physical daggers available because the way one of your moves works, that move is called Immolation or Backfire or Fire Shroud, depending on which version you have. If you have regular daggers, then it does regular physical damage, okay? Even though you're on fire and it looks like you're hitting your opponent with fire, that fire is solid, alright? It's just solid fire. Even though it sets them on fire, like they can get burning from it, it's solid physical damage that you're dealing as long as you're daggers are like this. They have no magic component to them. You go into your inventory, you look at divine razors, 0 magic. That means that when you use flame shroud or backfire or immolation, that immolation will be purely physical damage. And if you're using it to crawl all over an enemy, like say a dragon, then you probably don't want to be doing fire damage to that enemy. You probably want to be doing something else. So that's why you want to have these divine razors handy, because they guarantee that you'll be doing good damage to the dragon with your immolation, if that's how you want to deal damage to him. Alright, so that's why we're going for immolation, for divine razors here. And then also upgrade them. Go ahead and get those two priceless artifacts from the Water God's altar. You have to mine them, by the way. So you need to use some exploits. Just look up the exploits for how to continuously mine an area. Alright, next up, we'll have another set of daggers that are good for fighting the dragon. Because we're at the end of the game, you fight the dragon in stage 6, so we're going to talk about stuff that can fight the dragon. Did I not buy? Oh, well, I just didn't withdraw them. Here, let's go ahead and withdraw the kunai.
Bond, dear lad, there's not much. Have your pick. What will it be today? Have your pick. Any you like? What will it be today?
So, where's kunai? No. I'm about to say, there ain't no way I don't have kunai somewhere in here. There's somewhere in here. I refuse to believe I don't have kunai. Like, this is absurd. I've been perplexed these last couple of days. Every time I go and look for something that I swear I have, I can't find it. Alright, fine. There times of charm I didn't find it. Where's our girl at? And of course she disappeared. Oh, this is bad. If I can't find her, oh, here we are. Okay, cool. So part of part of the reasons why some people might give the gold idol to her is because you're able to buy the kunai from her at that point. However, I don't recommend it. I recommend giving the gold idol to Caxton instead. And then you'll be able to farm the kunai during stage 6. So the kunai are a pair of dark daggers. Dark damage isn't very good because, in most cases, because a lot of things in the game are resistant and very few things are weak to it. But the very few things that are weak to it are pretty important. So dark damage is good against direwolves. It's good against the griffin. It's good against humans. But most importantly, it's good against the dragon. Okay? It's good against the dragon. It's the only thing he's weak to is darkness. Alright? So now, instead of what I was talking about before, which is setting yourself on fire and using immolation, instead of doing that, all you gotta do is use kisses. Scarlet kisses, which should be upgraded to 100 kisses or 1,000 kisses. Let's go ahead and use kisses on his heart, and you'll be able to do a great deal of damage to him because of that dark enchantment that's always on the blade. Okay? And then the last thing we're going to talk about is the heresy set. Now the heresy set, unlike the Monomi set, is actually useful against the dragon. It's still a gimmick because of the fact that it's only useful at that particular point in time, and it's so expensive that you wouldn't use it any other time, and it's so weak that you wouldn't use it any other time, but it's still a gimmick you could use. So yeah. there's a potential outfit that you can wear to fight the dragon with. The heresy set. And again, you've got way better outfits. You've got the assembled lion set, which has super high physical defense. You have the raptor set, which is even better, but it just doesn't have a physical defense, so it's kind of a trade-off. Like, oh, okay, you get better stats overall, but then the trade-off is that you have less physical defense. But your fashion's also better. But when you look at this set, you can see like there's kind of a fire effect coming off of him. That is an effect when you wear just like the Monomi set. That's an effect of the armor itself when you wear 4 pieces. And then if I look at the Monomi set again, that had the ice effect on it, right? It just wants to work with me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And you see like the cold, chilly breath coming off of it. Unfortunately, a Monomi set's kind of worthless. There's like 2 enemies that do high ice damage in the game on a regular basis. So not just like random one-offs. I'm talking about like enemies that really do a lot of ice damage. It's basically the final boss of Bitter Black Island. And who else? There was one other that did ice damage on a regular basis. Oh, worms of any type. Um, and outside of those 2 things, and honestly, worms don't really do that much ice damage because they're always casting spells at you, which are they can be any element. Now, granted, if you run up on their heart, you're always going to take a little bit of ice damage and a little bit of freezing, but and that's mostly for the frost worms. Yeah, there's just not really a point in this set because its whole thing is resisting poison, sleep. Is it poison, sleep, and it doesn't even tell you here what it wants to resist. I think the neck wrap tells you. Oh, it just wants to resist poison and blinding, which are 2 of the least annoying debilitations to resist. And on top of that, this particular one resists dark, but for the most part, it resists ice. So it's just weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's just weird. Um, but yeah, last thing I want to go over is probably skills. So we've gone over all of the items towards the end of the game. If you want to be as strong as possible, then you should be using Gilbungire, um, and to actually fight the dragon, Kunai works really well. Um, but when you fight the dragon, your last hit against the dragon forges all your gear. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're wearing gear that's very hard to dragon forge because you only get 1 chance per playthrough to get that done in a way that all your stuff is getting dragon forged instantly, no matter what stars are. Um, so the when you're fighting the dragon and you're about to land the killing blow, go ahead and swap from Gimbal Gyre to Meter Catharsis. And that way you get that Dragon Forge. Because it's going to be pretty... You don't need Gimbal Gyre anymore. Because you're going to get a way stronger spell bow by beating the dragon. Like, he's just going to straight up give you one. However, you are going to want Meter Catharsis upgraded. Just because it's the only thing that's worth upgrading that isn't a regular spell bow at this point in time. I guess you could also upgrade Rusted Spellbow, but it doesn't make sense either because only your 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 non-spell attacks with the Rusted Spellbow actually apply Torpor. So you might as well just upgrade me to Catharsis. and then get extra damage against humans that way. You can one-shot corrupted pawns and stuff like that. In Bitter Black, just turn the entire room into a killing field whenever you see corrupted pawns. um, let's see. So yeah, walking into the battle with him, you should look something like this. If you want to be as strong as possible, which is honestly you're gonna be ugly as sin. I'm not gonna lie, because this set's ugly. It just is. You can go a Raptor Assist, honestly. You could. Look at that skill stifling resistance. Yeah, where's the, yeah, Brigade. You're not going to have a Dragon Force, by the way. I have a Dragon Force because I've been playing with it forever, but you're not going to have a Dragon Force. You're going to have that some other level. Same thing with Iron Banning, same thing with Harpy Cloak. You're not going to have those Dragon Forces yet unless you go out of your way to fight a certain mini-boss who looks like a dragon. I'm not going to tell you where it is and what it is. Just, I'm going to tell you that it exists before you fight the dragon. What else? Yeah, this is what you'll look like. If you look at the best that you can look before you fight the dragon. That's the strongest you can be. Alright, so I want to talk skills.
We are an inn. We can. It is up. Pray. Have your pick. Any you. What will it be today?
So, might as well go learn skills. I don't use Biting Wind at all. A lot of these are from like Strider and stuff. So I was talking about spells before. So dagger spells include your Sun Flare. You're going to want to have that on you. Your Ascension, you're going to want to have that on you. Magical Bouncer, you're going to want to have that on you. It's going to almost double your magic damage. I think it just barely over doubles that actually. It's like 2.08. Yes, 2.08 times your magic if you cast it 4 times. All right. So what you're gonna do is.
What will it be today?
Because I don't have anything on right now.
What will it be? Have your come again?
It's just like this. Cast it. 1. Oh, actually, before I do this, I already got 1 layer on, but you'll be able to see it here. So I've got 754, 782 magic in my offenses, right? So I should be reaching somewhere around 900 or something like that. No, somewhere around like 1200, I think. Hold up. Where are my stats? Does it not count because this is a safe area, or what's the deal here? Let me go check something. It should still register my stat changes. That's really weird to me. That's not registering my stat changes. It's weird to me. Alright, anyway, it's times 2.08. Before I go down this rabbit hole, it's times 2.08. So basically double what you're seeing on the screen. Even though it won't tell me for some reason. Normally it tells me when my stats change. I'm confused as to why it's not telling me that my stats were changed. Yeah, I still don't have an upgrade. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to try to figure this out here and now. Just understand that's double your damage for magic. Okay, so you gotta really know. Use it 4 times. It works just like Periapps. All right, what's next? 6-fold bolt is your bread and butter. It works a lot like 5-fold flurry and 10-fold flurry. Explosive rivet. I think you can have a maximum like 5 or 10 on the screen at the same time. Just check wiki. They have the exact math for that. But no matter what, even immolation won't allow you to deal enough physical damage to well, immolation does not bypass the requirement to actually physically attack these. So you have to physically attack these. Or one of your pawns has to physically attack these. Just because immolation does physical damage doesn't mean that it'll allow you to bypass that requirement. Ricochet Hunter. It's a questionable skill. So this skill makes Magick Archers the most overpowered vocation in Bitter Black Island. However, outside of Bitter Black Island, there's nothing to ricochet against, right? Because Bitter Black Island is tight halls. But here, in Grancis, it's mostly open fields and meadows and stuff like that. Sometimes you might have a place like the Witchwood, which has a lot of trees, or the Catacombs, or the Everfall, which are tighter together. But for the most part, there's too many open spaces for this to be effective. And on top of that, not that many things are weak to electricity in Grancis. Now, a couple of things that you need to be weak to electricity are in tight spaces, like ogres are weak to... Wait. No. Elder ogres are weak to electricity. Regular ogres are just like weak to fire and stuff like that, fire holy and stuff like that. So, not even there. But still, you can use it in against most ogres, and you'll do good. You'll do well. What else? There's a couple other skills. Sacrifice obviously requires you to kill one of your pawns, but it will allow you, if you use Great Sacrifice, to defeat a metal golem's floating disc, which is a problem usually for Magick Archers, because golem discs they have a magic resistance of like 10,000 or 9,000. But Great Sacrifice has a physical damage output of like 11,000, and it's just enough to break a golem's disc and allow you to completely bypass that weakness of the Magick Archer. So that's the one reason why you might carry around Great Sacrifice if you just really don't care about pawns. I usually carry around something else like in order to deal with that particular situation, I usually carry around... I don't even know if I have it here. I just look like I have it in this particular save game.
What will it be today?
Vortex Trail. Yeah, Funnel Trail becomes Vortex Trail. I usually carry that around, and that allows me to move the golem to their high up disc, and then I just jump off of it with immolation, physical immolation active, so coming off of a purely physical dagger, and jump into the disc and try to slash at it. Even if you miss the slashes, just you being on fire will deal physical damage, blunt damage to those discs, and it'll break those discs. Ward Arrow is great. Great Ward Arrow is the upgrade, and it gives you a higher, if I'm not mistaken, it basically gives you the same thing that you get from Healing Springs. So basically completely immune to drenching and all kinds of nasty stuff. Sacrificial Bolt is what I was talking about. Sacrifice. Um, to beat, and it also lets you one shot, or get very close to one-shotting the dragon because he's weak to dark. That is your only dark damage. That's magical, by the way. That's a spell bow, by the way. Is sacrifice, so that's what really sucks for Magick Archers. I wish. So Dragon's Tempest, unfortunately, they gave you a lightning weapon when your strongest attack is already lightning element in BBI, which is is so superfluous. If they gave you a dark weapon instead, oh, it'd be ballin'. Now, granted, Magic Archer's already really overpowered, but still, it'd be ballin' if they gave you a dark weapon as your BBI level 2 instead of Dragon's, is it not quickening, Dragon's Tempest. Bracer Arrow gives you more poise, basically. Magical Flare. So Magical Flare can apparently be used to drop death into the hole. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hunter Boat's good for Dragon Wings. It's also good for smashing Daimon's face in. Just get directly under your target, and your 11 attacks, because it's 11 of them. Even though it says 10, it's 11 because the arrow itself is counted. Your 11 attacks just go straight up, almost a little bit ahead of you into like a parabol, but it's pretty much almost directly above you. Yeah, it does absurd damage to certain things. Like, yeah, it's great against Daimon. It's great against Erdi. I think those are the main things that you're worried about. Those two guys. And then yeah, Sixfold is just your bread and butter. Anything that's weak to ice just has a bad time against Magick Archer, no matter what the form is. Even in Grancis, if it's weak to ice, which isn't many things, but if it's weak to ice, it's screwed.
What will it be today?
It's basically that basically just means Saurians. um, yeah. So that's everything you need to know about skills. Learn how to use your skills effectively. That's the most important thing. In Grancis, especially because of the wide open spaces, you're going to have issues with ricochet. So you're going to get in close a lot with either your explosive volley or you're going to try to kite with your sixfold bolt. Neither of those two things is going to be like sixfold bolt. It's going to be resisted by dire wolves and your snow harpies, for instance. It's just a fact of life, and you're in Grancis. So you've got basically a fire attack that doesn't do full damage until you hit the enemy, an ice attack that's resisted by a lot of plentiful enemies, and a thunder attack that doesn't do anything because of the wide fields. That's why people feel like Magick Archer sucks, because of its awkwardness. And then your holy attack basically only targets one thing per. Like, if you use it the way it's intended to be used, it sucks. Like, it targets one thing and it hits them all with a very weak seeker. Whereas if you do what I do and you just shotgun something up front, it's much stronger. But then again, that's kind of an awkward thing to do because usually most enemies aren't just standing still, so you can shoot them directly under them. So it's weird. Yeah, very awkward class to use with the bow skills. Your dagger skills are a lot easier to use, but they're also a lot weaker than the bow skills. So just be aware of that. Like, Ascension is very simple. You send a field of magical light in front of you, and it does magical holy damage. but at the same time, it's it's not nowhere near the top end of power is nowhere near Seeker Boat or Hunter Seeker or whatever it's called. It's just not. And the same deal goes with Sunflare. If you get a nice big old explosion with your explosive rivets or whatnot, Sunflare doesn't come anything close to that. But you can spam Sunflare to make it better. I just don't know how your stamina is going to feel about that. Um, but yeah, that'll be about it, honestly, guys. I think we've gone over this ad nauseum. Like we've covered this greatly. So, as always, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and throw them below. And yeah, I've been me. You've been awesome. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.